Alright guys, before we jump into the video today, I just want to give a fair warning that over the weekend the power got turned off and I didn't know to miss my microphone settings, so some of these videos are really funny sounding, especially in game number 1. I don't know what happened, but the voice sync gets off just a little bit and my voice sounds really deep and it's really funny to watch. So yeah, let's watch today's video. What's up everybody, welcome back to Team FISHKNUCKLES YouTube channel. Today is Main Deck Monday, and today we're looking at the list. Actually got first place this weekend at the the Europe International Championship, which was Zoroark playing his Zoroark Golisopod deck. He actually said it's a Zoroark Golisopod deck, not a Golisopod Zoroark deck, because Golisopod is the backup attacker to Zoroark, which I do like a lot. If you do know, I actually played Zoroark in a League Cup, and now I'm starting to fall even more in love with Zoroark, especially now since it just won first place this weekend, and it has a grass Pokemon. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. But I imagine a lot of people are going to start covering this deck, so today we're going to play 2 games with this deck, show it off just a little bit, and show off why this deck is so strong. So we know what a lot of these cards do. We have Zoroark-GX with that trade ability, discard a card of your hand, and draw 2 cards. You have Rarity's Beating, which does 20 damage for each Pokemon in play. So it's 6, you do 120. With a Choice Band, you do 150. No, it's not any taking any knockouts, but that's not the point of the deck. We're trying to 2-shot everything, and we have stuff to heal our Zoroarks and actually help us take these knockouts. He did play a Zoroark with the stand-in. Stand-in makes it where you can switch Pokemon with your active, and it still has that Mime GEN attack, which is really nice to be good against like these non-EX or GX decks. 10 plus 30 for each of their bench Pokemon, which is 160, because 5 times 3 is 150, and plus 10 is 160, plus Choice Band can get you a knockout out of nowhere, which is really nice. It kind of surprises your opponent as well. And he's playing 4 of these Zoras with the Ram. Actually, he used the same artwork for his whole deck list, which is pretty funny. That's why we have the 1 Brigette full art and 2 of the non-full art. But when Mr.Mime is in the deck, Mr.Mime is really good for that bench barrier now, especially since Buzzwole is starting to become a deck. It makes where your bench Pokemon can't be hurt by attacks, so it can't snipe that 30 damage on your bench Pokemon, which is really, really good. Alright, so 3-2 Golisopod. First off, Wimpod has that Wimp Out ability. During your first turn, this Pokemon has no retreat, which is really nice because you can free retreat whoever you want to. And you have the 2 Golisopod. Golisopod has that first impression attack 30, and if it comes from your bench to your active, it do 90 more. Armor Press for 100 and Crossing Cut for 150. The most thing you're using is that first impression attack. It's really strong, doing that 120 with a Choice Band 150. And you can, like I said earlier, you can recycle this Golisopod, switch up Pokemon really easily, which makes the deck's really interesting. 1 Koko for that Flying Flip. No, you can't attack turn 1, but Flying Flip allows you to do 20 to everybody, which can set up some good knockouts. Let's say you're playing against like a Pokemon who's a Lele. Your opponent has Lele on the field. You use Koko Spread. Later on, you can First Impression for 150 to knock it out because that's 170 HP. So it's stuff like that makes a Koko really good. They also played 1 Mewtwo. Mewtwo has a Psychic attack. It does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that means against a Buzzwole, if they have 1 energy attached, you can do 80. With a Choice Band, you could do 20, 40, 5, 6, 7. You could do 140 with 1 energy on the Buzzwole, which can start, put some heavy pressure on it. They can't one-shot your Mewtwo. They can Acerola it and reuse cycle over and over again. And Mewtwo is a really good counter to this Buzzwole deck. So you can see the Tord and his crew was really prepared coming into this European International Championship this weekend. 3 Lele for that Wonder Tag. And that's going to be all the Pokemon there. It is 20, and it's a lot, but I think it's perfect. It's fine. But 2 Enhanced Hammer. We're going to discard some special energies. It's really good right now. 4 Field Blowers. We're not going to lose the Gardevoir. We have 4 Field Blowers plus 4 Puzzle Time. So you have essentially 8 of them. And plus we can discard any tools or stadium cards, which is really nice just overall. This deck doesn't play any stadium cards, so that's your one way to get them out. 4 Puzzle Time to gain 2 cards out of your discard pile, which is really cool. And for Ultra Ball, of course, to help set up. Now, the deck does play 3 Acerola. This is how we're going to heal our Zoroarks, make sure they never get knocked out, and our Golisopods and stuff like that. They are very tanky. Like, Golisopod is 210, Zoroark has 210. So it's really hard for your opponent to one-shot him. So with the Acerola, you kind of abuse him over and over again, which is really nice. The deck does play 3 Brigette. Yeah, 3 Brigette. Just so we can make sure we start with the turn 1. And also later on, you can start trading all your Brigettes to draw more cards, which is really nice in the late game. 4 Guzma to bring Pokemon off the bench, and once again to activate Golisopod and get your hurt Zoroarks out of the active spot. Next plays one Mallow, which might seem kind of weird, but with the four puzzle time, again, you can reuse those Mallows over and over again. And since you do play 4 puzzle time, you essentially can have like 7 Acerolas, or you can have like 8 Guzmas, or you can have like 8 Field Blowers. You can have, I don't know, 6 Enhanced Hammers. So with the puzzles here, it's really nice, especially since you have to trade. You can just trade and draw to all the puzzles you need and just kind of go away with it. 4 in and 4 Sycamore, just to supporter cards, of course. 2 Choice Band to hit that 30 more damage. And the relevant one is definitely like the Golisopod for Crossing Cut with the Choice Band 180. But it does set up some knockouts later on. Like I said, the Koko plus the Armor Press knockouts, the way you could do it that way. Koko Puff, Flying Flip with Koko plus some right is beating can set up some knockouts as well. So it's really interesting to see that being played overall. We already did Choice Band. 4 DCE, because like I said, Zoroark is your main attacker, and 3 Grass Energy. This deck doesn't play any like any Super Rod, it doesn't play any Rescue Stretcher, nothing like that to get back your energies or anything like that. You just have, you know, your puzzles to get back your Pokemon, and that's pretty much going to be it. Meaning with your main attacker, you do have 4 of them, and if they knock out 3, then you lose the game regardless. So I think that's why he went that way. Like I said, you do have the 4 puzzles. You just have to maintain what's in your hand and be very careful when you sick more stuff away. But guys, there we go. There is the Zoroark Golisopod deck. Remember, in main attacker is Zoroark, not Golisopod, which is why we see a 4-4 and a 3-2 of this. But guys, there we go. There's Tour Red Club's first place Zoroark Golisopod deck. Like I said, I imagine there's going to be a lot of channels covering this. It's a pretty big event. So you can see this pretty much everywhere. But guys, yeah, there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Today we're going to play against 2 interesting decks. We're going to play against Gardevoir, which is definitely one of the best decks in the format going to this weekend. And the other deck we're going to play is Silvally, which is one of the new hype decks after this weekend. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and let's see the deck in action.
Alright, so putting against BKT Bar, looks like they're playing a Gardevoir deck, and it's interesting how this kind of matchup goes, because you got to think, you know, Gardevoir does the answer, and I'm not exactly sure how this really plays out. You know, Gardevoir was one of the best decks going into this weekend, and I think it does actually struggle with this, but you do have Golisopod, which I imagine is your best answer in this matchup. Now, we do start Lele, unfortunately, but we have the Brigette, and is double puzzle, DCE, and nothing else besides that. We do have the Zoroark to start using trade next turn, and are going first. Alrighty, so let's see, what do we have here, guys? So 3 Pokemon coming out. The routes, we'll play the Brigette, and we'll use Brigette. We'll grab Party with 1 Wimpod and 2 Zoroarks, or 2 Zoruas, but I think I'm going to grab 2 Wimpods. But let's see, is the other Golisopod in here? It is in here. Alright, so this and a Zorua. We'll put those 3 guys out. And right now, we'll just press done onto our opponent. We could put a DC on the Zorua, but I'm scared of is a hammer. So, I think I am going to put a DC on the Zorua and just pass for right now. Yeah, we could be, like, you know, Guzma knock out the Zorua, maybe Enhanced Hammer, there's an Octilla down. We'll most likely see a Brigette coming from our opponent as well. But, I mean, we have a Golisopod, we have a Lele as well, so we're looking pretty good. We can also go for, okay, never mind. Alright, so never mind. We'll see how our 6 new cards are. Let's see what do we get. This deck doesn't play Float Stone or anything like that. There's a Grass Energy, a Brigette, Ultra Ball, and we have a couple things we could do this turn. The only problem, I can't really retreat the active, but they receive Ultra Ball, just turning Ultra Ball into Lele, and I imagine another routes. But what we could do this turn is Ultra Ball. I guess it depends what we top deck. Then it's going to be the key thing here. What do we top deck? So, owned our turn, we get Zoroark. Alright, so put down the Zoroark. That's a pretty good top deck right there. We'll put down the Zoroark. We will use the trade to discard the Brigette to draw 2 cards. And we're going to look at Golisopod or a... Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do now is Ultra Ball, or the Field Blower, and the Zorua. Do we want to discard the Zorua or discard the DCE? I think I'm actually going to discard the DCE for another trade. So yeah, we discard the Field Blower and the E. We're going to grab a Golisopod. Okay. And we have 3 Guzmas, 3 Acerolas, 1 puzzle time is prize. So grab the Golisopod. Okay. We'll put down the Golisopod, down the Zorua. We'll put down Lele. Use the Wonder Tag. Yes, with search supporter card. A Guzma. Alrighty, so here we go. We're going to knock out this bench routes right now. I think that is the better play. So Guzma, bring up the routes. Send up our Golisopod. Put a grass energy on it. Go for a first impression for the knockout. Going down to 5 prize cards. Not 4, 5. Alright, so we get a... Alright, a Wimpod. Okay, Wimpod's good because we can trade and discard it. What we really need to find is the other Golisopod so that we can maybe Acerola this turn, send in this new guy. And kind of go for the Acerola kind of combo. Their routes come down, Fear Energy deactive, and there's an end. The end will give us 5 new cards, and we still have the access with the trade, which is here. So we get into Zoroark and Acerola. Okay, this is really good now. We have double Zoroark, so we can do for the double trade. We see an Ultra Guzma and a Fairy Energy. I imagine we see a Gardevoir or an Octillery coming down. There's an Octillery coming down. And the Abyssal Hand, draw 5 new cards, or up to 5. And can you find a rare candy Guardi or not? So Abyssal Hand, I'm going to draw a couple cards here. But right now we have double trade, which can allow us to draw 4 extra cards. And just a pass onto our turn, which is not on it. So we will trade, discarding it in, draw 2 new cards. And let's see, what do we find? We find a end. Okay. We'll put down another Zoroark. We'll go for another trade here. Okay, so go for a second trade. I'm going to discard another N, draw cards. And let's see, what do we find? We find a Brigette and a Enhanced Hammer. So I think I Guzma up the route to take a knockout this turn. That's what I'm going to do here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. But theoretically, take a knockout this turn. He needs a DCE, Choice Band, and a Fairy Energy, and a Gardevoir. Right now, we're picking on these routes, making sure he can't set up. We're being good right now. There's a Fairy Energy deactive, which means he cannot take it because he cannot come into DCE. He discards a rare candy and a max potion, okay? Because 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, the most he could do is 100. But then we have the Acerola in hand to put all the stuff back in our hand. So if he swings this turn, we'll be able to Acerola to pick these damage Zoroark. And there's a Choice Band to the active, okay. Abyssal Hand, drawn 1. We saw him discard a rare candy. There's a down. We see a Wonder Tag. He's already used a supporter card, I think. Yeah, he already Sycamore this turn, so it's really not going to matter. And I wonder if he's going to turn into, like, the Lele, maybe. Because he's going to retreat to the Lele, which is fine. So onto our turn, another Guzma we can do to knock out the only routes, and that's what we're pretty much going to do here. But first, I'm going to trade. I'm going to discard some stuff we don't need. Like, we don't need the Brigette anymore. Discard that, draw 2 more cards. We find another Grass Energy and Golisopod. So put a Grass Energy on the Wimpod, put down the Golisopod. For a second trade, I'm going to discard the N. Yes, I'm going to discard the N. I'm going to get rid of his only routes on the field. He's really close to game at this point. So we will, I'm just going to Guzma, bring his routes up, send a Golisopod, and we are going to knock out here. Make a opponent where they can never set up. So first impression, taking the knockout to 120. Our hand is humongous right now. We've already discarded a bunch of stuff we don't need. There's a Field Blower. And he could send the Lele, okay. He's got the Free Truth Octillery. But I mean, I don't know what he could really do. Yeah, he get N9. There's a DCE, Choice Band in. Gonna put us down to 3. But I mean, with double Zoroark, have all this trade-ins and stuff like that. If we have as well, we found a Puzzle Time Guzma and a Mallow. There is a routes, and what we could do this turn is, well, first of all, do is just Guzma and knock out the routes. I think that's 100% the correct play here. Just make it where he can never set up here. So we see an Energy Drive for 90 onto our turn. Grass Energy, so I'm going to trade, discard the Grass Energy. We really don't need that in our hand. Found a Choice Band and Acerola. So I think right now I'm just going to route to take a knockout this turn. Or what we could do... No, I think I'm still going to Guzma, break up the routes, send it to Golisopod, and take a... one thing that we could do is... yeah, someone's going to go first pressure for the knockout. We could have knocked out the Lele by Mallow, but put a DCE on top of our deck and going for a crossing cut. But I really don't want him to have double Gardevoir next turn. So under our opponents, they're going to draw a card, which we're just trying to make it as hard as possible for our opponent to take a knockout. The only bad, the bench does have 90 damage on it, but I mean, realistically, it's going to be really hard for our opponent to knock it out. And there is a Sycamore. It doesn't secure the game just yet, But I mean, we're like a demanding lead right now. I can't see our opponent can really do. So we see Ultra Ball, discarding a Field Blower and Brigette. There's another routes coming down, okay. 4 Guzmas, but we have like billion puzzles of times. There's a rare candy into a Gardevoir. Does he have a fairy energy to start hitting with that Gardevoir? So Seeker Spring, good war, so he will start attacking with that Gardevoir, okay. Did he already use the Abyssal Hand? Looks like he did already use the Abyssal Hand. Oh no, there he goes, using the Abyssal Hand now. Now, if we find a DC and a Guzma, we can actually win this turn. Because we could bring up the Tapu Lele, take a knockout. There's a Mewtwo to trade, discard the Mewtwo to draw 2 new cards. We find a Ultra Ball and a Mr.Mime, so I will trade carding the Mr.Mime, drawing 2 new cards. Okay, so we didn't find what I really need. But what we can still do is Field Blower, any enhanced hammers or anything. I'm going to discard the Floatstone and the Choice Band, discarding those 2. I'm still going to ace roll the active just to heal the Golisopod. Send up the new Golisopod, put down a Wimpod, attach a Grass Energy. I am going to Ultra Ball, discard the Zoroark, just so they're not in our deck anymore, really, because I really don't need these cards. I'm going to grab something just to get that free treat. What we really need is just one of these DCs and a Puzzle of Time we can win the game. No, put the Tapu Koko in our hand, and we will just, first impression, just going to soften up this Gardevoir to 120, which means we can 2-shot it with a Golisopod next turn. Can he take a knockout? Yeah, he can, but we can attack with the Golisopod. Actually, a Zoroark could take a knockout with the Choice Band. I think we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, we would need the Choice Band to -20, and we'll take a knock on the Gardevoir. So let's see what does he do here. And this is one good thing about the Zoroark Golisopod deck. It's just a stage 1 deck. It's really easy to set up. Like the 2010, 2011 format, where like Zoroark Dawn Family was really dominant, and we kind of see the same thing here. So we do see a max potion heal the damage off of that. So 3, 6. If he has a DC, okay, he's only got 2 cards left in his deck. Alright, so there's a Curly coming down, okay. So no N, which is great news for active. And just going to Seeker Spring for 60, bring it up to 150. Okay, no, Seeker Spring to the bench. Okay, so he actually still only doing 60. Not going to take a knockout here. Yeah. Going to shuffle 3 cards back into his deck. And even then, like, he has to take, like, a lot of knockouts. So I don't know if he can actually win this game. Like, we just keep price denying him, and we have like double trade. As long as if we hit a DCE and a Puzzle Time, we can win the game. I don't know, if we just hit a Puzzle Time, we win actually. So Twilight GX, he's actually going to shuffle 10 cards back into his deck, which I really don't care about because we don't have to ace roll this turn to heal the Golisopod. But he is going to like fill his deck back up, get stuff he wants back in his deck, maybe some Gardevoirs, maybe some of those DCEs, those Fairy Energies, potions. He only has 1 DC in the discard pile actually. There's one on the bench, Lele. But yeah, we're going to see a 10 card shuffle back into his deck, and I don't think we have to really worry about this. I mean, we're going to draw 5 cards, and hopefully one of them is, I know there's only 2 in the deck, or maybe 3, because we have taken some prize cards. We haven't used a single puzzle just yet. So we see Max Push, American, and then you see he wants these ends back into his hand. He wants our hand size, but it's really not going to matter. There's an Ultra Ball, so I will trade. Yeah, because we can't Mallow. Mallow doesn't win his game right now, so we need to trade. I'm going to discard the old cards. Alright, do we find a Puzzle Time? And there is double puzzle. So put down the Golisopod. We will put down the Choice Band. We will double puzzle, put 2 in our hand, and this is the power of the Puzzle of Time. We're going to grab a Guzma and a DC. We can get both these cards back in our hand. Let's put a DC on the Golisopod. We'll Guzma, bring out his Lele, send it, we'll Crossing Cut GX for 180 damage and win the game. So there we go, Cross Cut GX doing 180, we'll send it to Zoroark, doesn't matter, and we will take the game. And there's game number 1 with this Zoroark Golisopod deck, especially against this Gardevoir deck. You know, Zoroark did struggle taking down these Gardevoirs, but now with Golisopod, it's really hard for the Gardevoir players to knock you out, and you can easily just like heal your Golisopods over and over again, and it becomes a really, really nice match. But we'll see another game with the deck here in a second. I mean, we kind of just got set up, our opponent didn't, which it kind of does happen. Like, that is a stage 2 deck that relies on rare candies and stuff like that. Our deck doesn't. We'll see another game with the deck here in a second. We'll see what happens.
Alright, so in game number 2, we're playing against Mango Stash, playing some kind of water deck. Maybe a... It was water and steel, so I'm not exactly sure what we're playing against, but we'll just figure it out. I mean, probably just deck with Zoroark. Okay, so we're going to mulligan. And I remember this deck does play 3 Brigette, 3 Brigette Spaghetti, which makes me really happy because I love Brigette. So press done here. We'll get a new hand of 7, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so we start Brigette and a Wimpod. Alright, so this is actually really nice. Only 1 mulligan. We'll put down the Wimpod, we'll put down Brigette, and we'll retreat to a Koko most likely. We have our optimal start here. So yeah, they're going to start select Pokemon. There's a Scizor, okay. Scizor. So Brigette here. Okay, Koko, a Wimpod, and double. Okay, no, not Wimpod. Double Zoras. Yeah, that's fine. Because we can whip out. We have the 4. We actually have a Golisopod prize, unfortunately. But yeah, we have all for Guzmas, okay? We have all for puzzles. How many DCs are in here? 4 DCs, 1 Grass's prize. That's fine. This is actually a really good start. We will just retreat into the Koko with that Wimpod ability and press done onto our opponent's turn. Now next turn we can Ultra Ball. Maybe discard the Enhanced Hammer. Yes, it's really useful, but we do have the Puzzle Times to get that back. Get the Zoroark. Maybe discard the Lele, what we top deck. There is the Ultra Ball. Most likely going to find a Brigette. Like a Lele for Brigette kind of combo. Discards an Acerola and Guzma. Okay. This might be like a Silvally based deck that we saw in the finals. But he plays Scizor. I know. Is that correctly? Did Knight. So we see Lele, probably for Brigette. Gonna Brigette for the Pokemon and call that a turn. But like I said, we have Ultra Ball. Discard the Enhanced Hammer. Lele, dig for a DCE, start for pressure on our opponent. We can, do a lot of damage to a Scizor. We can't really take a knockout this turn, but still put a lot of damage. And there is a Parallel City coming down. Now, Parallel City is somewhat disruptive because it makes our bench limit to 3, but we do play those 4 Field Blowers, so we can easily bump that off, which is really, really nice with this deck. No, it doesn't play any of his own Stadium cards, but still, I think we'll be fine here. So Latios comes down as a breakthrough, which is pretty interesting. Type Null come down, which I did expect. And it looks like he's playing Octillery in his list, which means he's going to limit his bench space. Oh, he drops a DC as well, so this is actually really good for us. So now we can immediately, just Enhanced Hammer that DC off. We can Ultra Ball. I'm going to discard the Acerola and the Tapu Lele to grab a Zoroark. Alright, so grab the Zoroark, we'll evolve into a Zoroark, and then I think I'm just going to end here and just get a new hand. I'm going to put a Choice Band down as well. Usually want to hold on to that, but I want to end for more stuff. Maybe could have been a little more conservative with the Zoroark there, but then we find a DC and another Zorua, and we have a trade as well. So we'll Field Blower, get rid of that Parallel City. That's our only target, but still really good to get that off the field. We'll put down the Zorua. I am going to trade to discard the other Enhanced Hammer. I know he probably plays more, but we have Puzzle Times and stuff like that. There's Double Puzzle come right there. Put a DC on this guy. We'll retreat and hit for 130. Alright, so there we go. Riot is beating for 130. Okay, so on to our opponent's turn. Let's see what happens. Now, we do have Double Puzzle, which can give us like an Ultra Ball to get another Zoroark out, maybe, if we want to go that way. Now Type Null can attack this turn, or at least nobody can attack. Alright, so Field Blower, gonna get rid of our Choice Band. Okay, that's fine with me. And a Sycamore. Alright, so discard some metals, but unless he plays like Max Elixirs, he definitely can't attack this turn. There's an Octillery coming down. Okay. Alright, so there is a Silvally GX coming down. He does have that free treat. And we want to watch out Silvally. He does have that Rebel GX attack, which can make him where he can take a knockout of it anywhere. 5, 10, 50, 20. Actually, I think he can take a for each of your bench, right? So with 4, he can still take a knockout if he has a Choice Band, which he does have a Choice Band on the Latios, so he's just going to retreat to the Tapu Lele and pass. But they were going to Guzma top deck, which is really nice. So I am going to trade. I think I'm going to discard the Field Blower to draw 2 new cards. Okay. So we get a double. Whoa, 4 puzzles. All right. So we're gonna Guzma bring up his Scizor. We'll set up our Koko. We'll retreat and take a knockout this turn. One thing we could have done as well is maybe have sent up the Silvally and just have knocked it out, or not knock it out, but and kind of like set up a knockout. But there we see Golisopod and Zoroark come into our hand. Okay, we see the Latios coming up. Looks like we might see oh, well, he has free retreat thanks to the Gyro unit attack, which is really nice. But regardless, okay, it's another Parallel City coming down. We're going to discard a Wimpod. I think that's fine here. We can immediately just double puzzle for a Field Blower. And an Acerola. Rescue Stretcher, going to put the Scizor back into his hand, most likely. Yeah, looks like the Scizor's come back into his hand. And we're most likely going to see a Sycamore. This is why he's playing his cards out as much as he can possible. Abyssal Hand for 1, actually. So it looks like he was staying for Abyssal Hand here. So Choice Band to the Scizor, actually, and a Sycamore. One thing, like I said, he could have done is put a Choice Band on the Silvally and taken a knockout. Because it would do... actually, he can't anymore. He only has 3 Pokemon, so he can only do 180. Cobalion coming down. Revenge Blast is so much scary, I'm not going to lie to you. And we just get Tapu Lele and just pass onto our turn. So put down a Zoroark, and we have an interesting choice here. I think right now we can just Riot his Beating. 20, 40, 60, 80, and we get 2 shot of the Choice Band next turn. Or we can double puzzle. I think what I'm gonna do actually is do this. I'm gonna first let's get some trades off. So we'll trade discard the Golisopod because we still have more Field Blowers in our deck, which I'd rather draw to that way. Double Bridges would definitely trade discard one of the Bridges here to draw 2 new cards. Alright, so there's a Guzma. Okay, so we have Guzma in hand. So let's see, 20, 40, 60, 8, 100, 130. What I'm going to do here is actually Guzma up the Silvally, send up our Koko, retreat, and just swing right now. I know it doesn't take a knockout, but next turn we actually take a knockout if we play our cards right next turn, because he has 130 damage left, which means 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, because we get Field Blower, Choice Band, take a knockout this next turn. Which is really nice. And also we get Acerola. So yeah, I think this plan is a lot better. So Stretcher, okay. That's fine. There's this Valley going to his hand. Really doesn't matter. There's no type null down. There's a fighting member coming to the active. Oh no, that means he can take a knockout here. If he finds a DCE. I forgot about this play. I forgot about his fighting memory. This is where Golisopod will shine. Alright. This is why you attack with Golisopod in this matchup. But if he takes a knockout here, he still doesn't have a attacker next turn, which is fine. The only thing we don't need to see is an end. He's only played 1 end though, so realistically he'll probably find one. So yeah, that's just me not just forgetting about cards. So oh no, going for Sycamore. Alright, so we're good here. It doesn't secure us the game just yet, but it does do a lot of stuff for us. So DC to the active. We'll see a knockout here, okay. But I think we can easily still take a knockout next turn on the Silvally. He will do 220 thanks to the Turbo Drive with the Fighting Memory, going down to 4 price cards, but where does he put his energy at? Maybe on the Cobalion might be someone he could Revenge Blast, maybe sneak a knockout that way, but he's already committed 3 Choice Bands. He might play a 4th one most likely, okay. He's going to go down to 4 price cards. So a Metal on the Latios, okay. And Metal on the Latios, that's interesting. You think he'd put on the Cobalion to Revenge Blast next turn, but on to our turn, what do we get? We get a DCE. So let's see here. So we'll trade, discard the Brigette to draw 2 new cards. There's a Mime. Okay, so I'm gonna double puzzle here. Okay. Let's see. So we'll grab a Field Blower and a Zoroark. We could just grab a Choice Band and do what I said and take a knockout this turn. So yeah, I'm going to grab those 2 actually. Okay. I am going to Field Blower, and with the Field Blower, I'm going to get rid of the Stadium and the Choice Band off the bench. I'm going to put down Mr.Mime, put down Zorua, DC this guy, Choice Band. Alright, so let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, so 130 right now. And we could end him down to 4. which I think is a fine play. Make it where he can't do anything. We make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 130. So I'm going to end here and put him down to 4. We do get 4 as well, but I want to disrupt his large hand size. Alright, so we got a DC for next turn. We got a Golisopod, which is really not that useful right now. And we'll just retreat and take a knockout this turn. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we'll ride his BD for the knockout here, do 130, sitting that knockout last turn with his Zoroark. Unfortunately, I forgot about the fighting memory. That's just me being silly. Double Lele coming to hand, which really not that relevant right now. But he really can't take a knockout this turn. So Latios come up, it could break through maybe, doing 60 and 30 to a bench. But then we can like Acerola if we want to. There is a type null come down, and we definitely just want to Guzma that guy up and take a knockout on it if possible. We do have a Lele in hand. We have 2 Guzmas left in deck, so like realistically, we should be able to do this. There's a metal to the active. We'll most likely see a breakthrough doing 60 and 30 to a bench. Does he have an in or not? He's like I said, he's only played the 1 in, so he has plenty of left in the deck. Oh, actually, he can't even hit the bench because we have Mime now. That's so funny. I forgot we put Mime down last turn, so he realistically only hit the active for 60. We see a Choice Band and a DCE. There's a breakthrough for 60. We can't take a knockout right now. We're only doing 100, so we need to find one more Pokemon to knock out the Latios. There's a Guzma. We still can't take a knockout on it, so we do need to trade. Discard the Choice Band, draw 2 new cards. We just need to find a Pokemon here. And do we find one? And we do find one. But we have to discard all cards of our hand. But I think this is worth it, though. I'm going to Ultra Ball discard the Grass and the DCE to grab another Pokemon. So grab, you know, I'm going to grab a Lele. Lele can grab us a Guzma and we can take a knockout. And then we can have another Guzma in our hand for next turn. So yeah, I'm going to Lele, Wonder Tag for Guzma, knock out the type Null here. And then we could do the same thing again. Now, one thing I am kind of concerned about is if he does have oh man, if he has the new energy, he actually could take a knockout. So I actually want to bring up this Cobalion here. It's a little bit more scarier if he has the counter energy. He could actually take a knockout with it. So I'm just going to retreat and take out the only threat for next turn, and that is Cobalion. I don't know if he plays counter energy, but we just got to make sure we're really careful here. Really no need to overextend right now, because next turn we have Guzma. We can knock the Octillery out. We can knock out the Latios. It's pretty easy to do that way, and onto our opponent's turn. Unless he plays Max Elixir and all that stuff that we saw. Is that correct play? But he's already played so many cards. I haven't seen a Max Elixir yet, so I highly doubt he's playing one. We do have a Guzma. Gonna bring up the Octillery, bring up the Scizor, and there's another Cobalion. Oh my goodness. Does he have counter energy in his deck? That is the question right now. Can he find a counter energy? Does he have one? If he has a counter energy, this could be really bad for us. So there's in. Going to N is to 1. He's going to get 4 cards. Does he play counter energy? I have no idea. Oh my goodness. So there's a Zoroark coming to our hand. That's not useful at all. There's a Silvally GX coming down. Does he have a counter energy? He will be able to Abyssal hand for 2. Oh my goodness. Does he have counter energy? And no, there's a Metal G going to the Silvally, which is a sigh of relief. Alright, so we're good here. No counter energy. I was so nervous he had a counter energy. He was going to win this turn. Or not win, but he would have... Okay, so he's just going to break through for the active for 40. We just win, don't we? Am I missing something? Yeah, we just ride his BD for the knockout. Am I missing something? No, I'm not. So we'll just ride his BD for the knockout and take the game. I don't understand that last turn at all for my opponent. I guess maybe we should have like traded to see if we hit the Guzma, but regardless if we didn't hit the Guzma, I mean, I guess we would have swung into whoever, and then he would need another fighting memory. But what, did he play 3 fighting memories? That's my real question right now. So let's see. Can we see our opponent's deck? We can't see our opponent's deck. I mean, if he didn't play 3 fighting memories, there's really no way he can knock out our Zoroark next turn. But there we go. There is the Zoroark Golisopod deck. You can see why it's really strong. You have all these different abilities you can use with the trades, and then you can like different attackers. Like that game, we definitely probably should have attacked with like a Golisopod. It would have been a little bit better, because you can hit for 120, which is really good number against Cobalion and that Latios and the type Null and stuff like that. And then also Golisopod can't be one-shotted by those that fighting memory that we saw happen on one turn. So that was my fault. Maybe we should have cut the Golisopod and had a and had a Golisopod out. But I mean, it's just really cool to see that Zoroark is a really strong card, and I just love Zoroark so much right now in this format. It's good in expanded, it's good in standard, and I don't know, I'm loving Zoroark right now overall. But guys, there we go. There's 2 games with the Zoroark Golisopod deck. I imagine there's gonna be other people covering this deck as well. It's gonna be pretty big since it just won London Internationals, or I guess the Europe International Championship. I toured. It's a second victory, like I said, back-to-back, which is pretty amazing. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a fantastic Monday. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.